Previously on Eagles News Now.
I mean, I've kind of had enough. I think no matter what happens the rest of this year, short of winning the Super Bowl, he's got to go. Very disappointing the past 3 weeks. You have an offense that is just obliterated with injury. You expect your defense to really kind of put the team on their back, and they haven't done it. Okay, let's just take Miami out of the equation. We'll say they slipped on a banana peel and didn't play well there. You expect them to play good against the Giants Monday night, prime time, at Lincoln Financial Field, and they let Eli Manning, fresh in the retirement home, look great in the first half. You figure they're going to put a complete game together against the Redskins Sunday, and they let the worst offense in the league, I stress that, the worst offense in the league, with a rookie quarterback who has struggled, who is sacked. I think he's averaging 5 sacks a game, with their best offensive lineman out in Sheriff. Look great. Look like a great offense. I mean, they look the best they've looked.
But this lies on Jim Schwartz's shoulders, man. Jim Schwartz, besides the first and maybe second drive of the game by the Steelers, the Eagles' defensive line did nothing. I mean, they just did not do anything. Chase Claypool is killing you. He's a rookie. You don't do anything to stop that. And that last drive where he caught a touchdown.
Are you kidding me? Jim Schwartz, honestly, I don't want to see you on this football team, on this coaching staff next year, because whatever you're doing isn't working, okay? There's no excuses anymore.
Coaches came up to me and it kind of made me mad that he was like, I was in Detroit with Megatron, but you're not there yet. In my mind, I'm not trying to be Megatron, I'm trying to be me. So, had a little chip on my shoulder the whole game.
Was that Jim Schwartz?
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Woo! Oh yeah! Can you believe it? Can you feel it? Can you feel that excitement? I am excited. I am so happy right now. Go! Yeah! Let's go! Woo! That's right. That's right. Cutting and strutting, because it was announced today, the world found out today, that after this Sunday, Jim Schwartz will no longer be the Philadelphia Eagles defensive coordinator. I have been waiting for this for years. This is like a late Christmas gift, an early birthday gift, as my birthday is just 5 days away, 4 days away, because it's January 6th. I can't even think right now. I am legit excited. I didn't think this was going to happen, to be honest with you. Give me a minute to settle myself so I can talk to you guys without sounding like a raving lunatic. I'll be right back. Let's keep the celebration going. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Eagles News Now podcast. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wilde, live from bar 4133. And look, that excitement was not manufactured. I am legit happy and excited for the future of the Eagles defense, as sources close to the Eagles have revealed that Jim Schwartz is going to take a year off. He's going to take the 2021 season off and is probably going to retire. If you have followed me, if you subscribe to me, you know my frustration with Jim Schwartz over the years. I thought that he should have went after last year. This guy, to me, now look, everybody remembers 2017, the Super Bowl year. Jim Schwartz had 2 amazing defensive performances out of his defense, and that is in the playoffs against the Atlanta Falcons and the Minnesota Vikings. But I have said that throughout that season, the offense was so good that it made teams one-dimensional and made it really easy on the Eagles' defense for most of the year. Now, you go into the Super Bowl, if BG doesn't get that strip sack, Tom Brady probably closes out the game, and Jim Schwartz probably isn't back after letting up 500 yards to Tommy Terrific and the New England Patriots. So I've been saying that for years. The year after, I mean, the come from behind wins from teams, the bend but don't break defense crap, the prevent defense early in games, I have just absolutely had it. The personnel decisions by Jim Schwartz. This guy, there's no way that this guy could come back. Now, is he the ultimate reason for the Eagles' failures over the years, especially this year? No, absolutely not. They've got huge problems and huge question marks on that offensive side of the ball. But there are games like the Washington game where the Eagles have a 17-point lead and the defense cannot, 17 points, I know it's not a lot in today's NFL, but the defense lets Dwayne Haskins, who is unemployed right now, win that game in Washington, first game of the season. It's games like that. It's games I remember a couple years ago against the Panthers and against the Titans where the Eagles have big leads and Jim Schwartz lets up. It's the cornerbacks playing so far off of the wide receivers that on 3rd and 15, these teams are able to convert on 4th downs. They're able to convert. It's, again, the personnel decisions. Look, Jim Schwartz, it has been rumored, has a lot of say in who plays for his team. And you've seen these Jim Schwartz guys come in over the years, and they've been absolutely horrendous. I remember Zach Brown coming in, playing snaps when a guy like L.J. Fort couldn't even get on the field. They release L.J. Fort, and he becomes a solid starter for a really good Baltimore Ravens defense. It's keeping Nate Gary playing like 90% of the snaps until he gets hurt. And this guy is so bad that he is giving up big chunk plays time after time, is lost in coverage, is just one of the worst linebackers I've ever seen. Meanwhile, you've got Alex Singleton literally sitting right there, and he cannot get into the game. Eventually he does, and he looks like one of the brightest young parts of this defense. It's things like that, again, we go back to just last week against the Dallas Cowboys, where it's all on the line, baby. Everything's on the line. A playoff spot possibly, knocking Dallas out of the playoffs. You've got your young starting quarterback in Jalen Hurts in this offense that was actually starting to look great. That's another story for another day. And then this defense, you've got Michael Jaquette is your number 2 outside corner, and he is getting absolutely murdered to where Jim Schwartz waits until just about every wide receiver of the Cowboys has over 100 yards and touchdowns before he decides to make the switch to one of the guys that actually started as cornerback in the Super Bowl, Jalen Mills, to corner. It's almost like one of the, Michael Gallup on Jim Schwartz's fantasy team with CeeDee Lamb on his fantasy team. That's almost what it seemed like. It's these bonehead decisions time and time again. Avonte Maddox, a really good slot corner. You decide to put him on the outside where he's definitely not comfortable and looks horrible at. You bring in Crevan LeBlanc, another slot corner. Roby Coleman, a slot corner. You absolutely bastardize that outside corner second spot after bringing in a guy like Darius Slay. These are all Jim Schwartz things. You know what? It was time. It was time for him to go. Long time ago. A really long time ago. And again, I'm not saying this guy's absolute trash, but he's just not a good defensive coordinator anymore. He's not. Hard for me to say because of the excitement and just the frustration after reliving these moments in my brain. It's unreal to me that he lasted here after, again, there was games last year that, the wipeout from Minnesota Vikings where they absolutely destroyed us, where the Miami Dolphins, who are a good team now, but were not good last year. They were one of the worst teams in the league, had one of the worst offenses in the league. They come out and beat us. The Redskins with Dwayne Haskins at the end of the year almost beat us. Eli Manning, again, he had a great first half against us. We almost lost that Giants game last year. This guy just has not been good, and the nightmare is finally over. So what does this mean? What does this mean? Well, it means that Doug Peterson is probably coming back, which I have another video dedicated to my thoughts on that. And it means that it's going to be even more interesting of an offseason as the Eagles have tons of options as defensive coordinators. That'll be another video for another day, but the first guy that comes to my mind is a guy like Dan Quinn, former defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. Him and Mark Manuel, who's the D-backs coach, are very familiar with each other. A lot of success in Seattle. And then a guy like D'Amico Ryans, who is the linebackers coach for the 49ers, who is a lot of people are looking at to be a defensive coordinator somewhere, possibly in San Francisco. 2 just off the top of my head, but I'm very excited for what the future holds, and I'm very happy to see the final game of the Jim Schwartz era tomorrow night, primetime, as our Philadelphia Eagles face the Washington football team in a must-lose game. Must lose. More on that to come. Thanks, guys, for putting up with all this silliness, but I am definitely very, very happy that Jim Schwartz is not going to be here next year because I really thought everybody was going to come back and everybody was going to get a mulligan because of the COVID year and the no off season and all of that. Obviously, Jim Schwartz, again, this goes back to the regular years of football. So, everybody, I hope you're as happy about this as me. Happy New Year 2021, starting off pretty damn good, I will say, because this is definitely a positive. Stay safe, stay healthy out there. Go Birds. Thanks, Jim, but F Jim Schwartz. I'll see you later.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles! E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
I need Eagle Nation to stand.